In 3, 2, 1.
I see, the world would rather rise to me and be so wonderful.
Ding, ding, ding.
Hello and welcome to the KEDICHO Podcast.
Hi, guys.
The podcast where we dive deep into the dichos we grew up hearing from our grandparents and parents.
I am your host, Alondra.
And I'm your host, Alejandro.
And in today's dicho, we're going to be talking and breaking down No le tengo miedo al chile, aunque lo vea colorado.
All right. So we're going to dive deep into the dicho. We're going to
Break it down.
And we're going to see what are the different ways that you use the dicho. What else are we going to talk about in this episode?
We're just going to talk about how we could relate to the dicho personally, or a story that could go with the dicho.
Okay, yeah. So we're going to see how it applies to our lives,
Yeah.
right? And and we're going to come face to face with the dicho itself.
Ooh.
And see if we can actually stand up to el chile, aunque lo veamos colorado.
De verde.
O verde.
Oh, verde, yeah. All right, let's get into the nitty gritty.
Let's start with the dicho. Alondra, please
Yes.
start us up with the dicho.
So, no le tengo miedo al chile, aunque lo vea colorado. Let's translate that into English for our non-Spanish speakers. In literal English words, it means, I am not afraid of the chili, even though I see how red it is. That's my translation.
I think that was pretty perfect.
Yeah.
I don't think I can come up with a better one.
A ver, do it right now.
I'm not afraid of the chile, even though it's red.
Even though it's red. Okay, that's good. All right.
Yes, folks,
Delicious.
ladies and gentlemen, that's what the dicho is. So, right off the bat, I think this is one of those dichos that is kind of straightforward, but I think it does use a double meaning type of thing.
How so?
Well, in fact, with every
With every dicho,
there is that
double meaning.
There's
There's the literal meaning,
right?
and then there's the message, right?
Yeah, and I think that is what that double speak means, or that double meaning type of thing.
Well, there's a lot of things that are doble sentido, but it just means it could be like a sexual or subliminal messaging.
Okay, because that one could be very subliminal, very
Why
innuendo.
would you go there?
I don't know, because I think there's a big
No.
thing with Mexicans that like they use that word specifically for that. Exactly. Yeah. But we're not going to go there yet.
You already did. Yet.
We're going to talk about that later on. So, what is the first thing that for you when you hear this dicho? How do you break it down?
So,
How does it?
okay, the way that I broke it down is the fact that they're saying, I'm not afraid of the chile. Why would anybody be afraid? And I'm talking like in the literal term. Why would you be afraid of a chile, of a jalapeno?
So, given the context or given the known aspect of chiles, they're spicy.
Right. But what's wrong with having spicy food?
Well, there's nothing wrong with
There's
spicy.
nothing wrong until
You get something that's really spicy.
until you get uncomfortably spicy. Oh, you see where we're going in this?
Maybe, because I did some writing beforehand.
Where's your notes?
No, I mean, as in like I dumped my thoughts onto a journal.
And then where are the notes at?
Well, they're already here because I wrote them down, and that's a fast way for me. I could just archive it. You know, your brain doesn't work like that.
It doesn't.
Kind of.
I need to write it down.
Well, whatever I wrote down already is kind of something I already thought about
Okay,
deeply.
Mr. Einstein. And so, from what I'm saying is that spiciness is good. It adds some flavor to your food until it hurts. Until it's
Yeah.
not.
Until it's like a very, very
It overpowers.
unique experience that those who have experienced those very uncomfortable situations, painful, I think it's an understatement.
Yeah.
It's more like
because you can't do anything about it. You got to write it out. Once you get enchilado, once you get spicy food starts burning,
yes,
you can't do anything. You just got to write it out, right?
it could be a religious experience if you want to. You know, you could call out to all the gods you want or the one that you believe in just to help you in that situation. And it's very uncomfortable.
Exactly.
We keep using uncomfortable because we can dive deep we can dive deep into all the words that could describe being enchilado
¿De dónde? Ah.
later. Huh?
That's the thing. You get enchilado. Espérate. Mira, you can get enchilado. Según que there's 2 times that you have to go through that. If once you hit that spicy food, it hurts coming in and it hurts coming out.
Allegedly. Let us know in the comments.
If you've ever been enchilado.
Right.
Like that.
Okay, yeah. Para estar bien enchilado, there's the one you only get in your mouth, I guess, orally.
Stop.
Gastronomy.
Don't say that. Don't ever say that ever again to me.
Okay.
Ever. Because like once you have spicy food, que te enchiles la boca, what if you happen to have it like on your lips, in your eyes, on your nose? Has that ever happened? Just like you rub your nose and it's like burning?
Yeah, I guess those very
It's
anxiety-filled enchiladas were like, you just had so much that you can't even think straight. So you're over here like trying to like go like to your mouth.
Limpiar, and you have chili, spicy hands.
Your fingers are already...
And you go like that, you're tearing up and you wipe your eyes. Oh, man. Exactly. So the message here is that no le tengo miedo al chile. That's the first part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that's what can potentially happen once you bite into a chile or you eat spicy food. Uncomfortableness. Could be flavorful, but it could also be uncomfortable once you hit that barrier of like super spicy, you know?
Okay.
So no le tengo miedo al chile.
So that's why it explains that.
That's what it means, that first part, right? So to say that, you're not afraid of what could happen. So no le tengo miedo al chile, aunque lo vea colorado. And I would assume that chile that they're talking about is red and it's spicy.
I think there is a known thing where
the red ones are spicier.
The red ones have already matured enough to get to that spicy level. Now, a green pepper will be spicy, but a rojo one, it already matured. So,
yeah.
But so the message is, don't be afraid of that chile.
Even knowingly how spicy it's going to be.
Right.
Right?
Okay. No. Yeah. That's a very particular idea of it. Like, even though it's going to be super spicy, don't be afraid of it either way.
And what does super spicy mean? Uncomfortable, scary, burning,
eye melting, crying, can't breathe.
Right.
You have a literal physical reaction to it.
Sweaty.
I think they have a unit of measurement of how spicy it is. Kelvin?
No. The Scoville scale. Yes. So now that we're on topic, it goes from 0 to a lot of numbers.
Wait, how many digits?
Tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000, 100,000. Million?
A million?
1,400,000. Oh, I'm sorry. 2,200,000 is the top.
Whoa.
That's the top. And that one is the Carolina Reaper.
Carolina Reaper is 2 million.
2,200,000 on the Scoville's heat unit. So it's up here, right?
Okay.
So the 0, digamos, is a bell pepper. Because it's in the pepper.
Yeah.
You know? And so a jalapeno is at 2,500 to 8,000. It's down here.
Okay, yeah.
And then you still have like all of this, right?
Uh-huh.
Bell peppers right here.
Yeah.
Here's the jalapeno.
It's barely tapping.
Yeah, barely. Jalapenos is like your traditional spicy that you think of.
You're mild.
Yeah. And then after that, let's see. Okay, so we got bell pepper at 0, pepperoncini at 100 to 500, the Anaheim pepper 500 to 2,500, the Poblano pepper 1,000 to 1,500, and then the jalapeno pepper for 2,500 to 8,000. There's a lot more, but
do habanero. What is habanero?
Habanero 100,000 to 350,000.
Okay, that was known as one of the spiciest peppers, natural peppers.
Oh yeah.
And then the other ones, I think they're just engineered. They do it like they mix the hottest peppers with the hardest pepper plant, and then they make babies, and those make spicy ones. And then the ones that have the spiciest, they mix it with another plant that has spicy. You could do that. And that's how they got those other numbers. So they're scientific or human made.
You know, they have the habaneros allá in Winco.
Okay, coming back.
All right. So anyways, to get enchilado, to get like spicy effects, in my perspective, I feel like once you get past that point of discomfort, I'm like, hell no. Like I would rather not. So with that dicho, I feel like everybody would rather not. It's a little scary, or maybe not scary, but
it's fear of the unknown.
Right.
And also how you feel in the present moment.
But this dicho is saying, knowing what's ahead, I'm still going to do it.
Okay.
So no le tengo miedo al chile, aunque lo vea colorado. I'm going to take that bite of that chile, even though it looks pretty spicy. Okay.
Pretty good, Alo. That was
Thanks. I write my notes down now.
Yeah, you broke that dicho down pretty good.
Thank you. How about you? What do you think?
Yeah, so right off the bat, so I understood that the dicho was developed or formed with the idea or the knowledge that chilies are spicy.
Right.
And when you encounter a chili and you go through that spiciness, and if you've experienced it before, you can form a type of fear. And that fear comes to you by hearing other people that say this is spicy. You're gonna have this experience that's gonna be epic, crazy, uncomfortable, painful, and so you can start building like that fear, or you can have firsthand experience of the event of you accidentally biting
for me
or eating spicy
for me,
food.
I used to stay away from spicy food specifically because of what I've heard like that. I was that person. I was one that said no chile on my tacos or no hot Cheetos. I would just get the cheese Cheetos, you know?
Okay, yeah.
But then I matured. No, but then we had the spicy noodle challenge back in 2017.
Okay.
And I remember when that was trending, we did a whole YouTube video about it. It's not out anymore, I don't think. Ugh.
Cringy face.
I know.
But here's some clips of it, maybe.
Yeah. And I remember that I was so spicied out. Is there a word in English for enchilado or enchilada?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I was so enchilada. I had no more sensation. I was just like sweating and boogers. And then we added salsa mexicana on top of all of that.
Yeah.
I remember. And ever since then, I enjoy spicy food.
Yes. It's kind of like an
you
experience.
compare it, right? I feel like after that, I compare everything else to that moment. And it doesn't compare to being that enchilada. So that now eating mango habanero Wingstop is not bad to me. It's actually pretty good.
The way that I visualize that, or the way that I can share or express that, is that the dicho is given as advice, as in, yes, I know you're going to suffer. Yes, I know you're going to get through pain. But beyond that is
it's
what
worth
you
it.
want to see.
For them, it's worth it.
There's going to be something that you get in exchange of the pain that you're going to go through. So that's why don't be afraid of it being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Being enchilado or being a chile that is rojo.
Right.
Don't be afraid of it. So when I heard the dicho and I kind of saw like the advices given to that individual who needs to go out there and go through the pain, I find it very interesting that this dicho was said using these words and this example, because this is something that you yourself can experience, that whenever you do eat a jalapeno or something spicy, the first time is gonna be epically painful and you're gonna cry. You could cry, or you can just have a very bad experience. But after that level of experience,
it's like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Because like little kids, it's known, no le des comida picante, está chiquito. So once you start eating spicy food, it's like a rite of passage, maybe, kind of.
Yes, I do remember like being at the kitchen table with my cousins in Mexico, and then being like, ¿le vas a echar chile a tu taco? O le vas a mira, esta está picosa, esta está chida.
They tell children, they let them know, esa pica, agarra esta mejor.
No. I'm talking about like little kids, not parents. Parents will protect you and say like, no agarres esa porque está picosa. No, what I mean is like, ¿tú de cuál salsa le echas? ¿De la que pica poquito o de la que pica mucho?
Is that something?
O yo le echo de la que pica mucho, so I'm like up here, you know? You
exactly,
ain't at my
passage.
Level. Right, yes. So the other thing that you're talking about is
the
parents or adults knowing that it's spicy and warning, esta pica.
Right.
So if you're about it, échale esta, y si no, stay away from it.
And it's
échale
still
la
a thing
verde
entre adultos though. It's a thing that you ask like in the family cookout, ¿cuál pica menos? You know, it's just a common thing like, esa pica mucho, ponle poquito. You know, entre primos, entre tíos, whatever.
Right.
You know, it's just something, an advisory to be like, fair warning, that one is spicy. So if you want to, like if you're about it, like you said, go ahead.
Why is there a variety of levels of spiciness in the table? In your family, like why would a mom or las tías will make una de esta, una de aquella, una de esta y la que pica?
For everybody who has that, a preference.
Yes. And the thing about spicy is that once you've reached that level of uncomfortableness that you can go for spicy, there is this sort of like reward. It's enjoyable afterwards. Después de una buena enchilada comes the calmness of that heaviness, that storm that appears in the moment. But then everything
you have
kind of
crazy eyes.
feels like it's because it's crazy. You gotta be crazy.
Estoy loco. Estoy loco.
Freaking meme or TikTok.
That's you right now. Talking about spicy.
There is this like calmness that comes afterwards. Like after a heavy lifting day, after a long run.
It gives you a high. It's like
Yes.
runner's high.
It's
lifting,
a type of it.
Working out high.
Because I think it works the same way of like
a roller coaster.
Yes.
Like right before it starts, you're a little scared.
Mm-hmm.
In the moment, you're
going
still a
through
little
the
scared.
storm.
And after that, you're like, let's do it again.
You're so excited. You're so
You're
happy.
pumped.
You're
Yeah.
full of endorphins.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. The body reacts like that. You go through pain and the body is funny that way, where like if you experience something very hard, very uncomfortable, it tends to reward you with
good feelings because you're
good
like,
hormones.
you're relieved.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's like the body is relieved. Oh, it's over and it wasn't that bad. Here's some
Yeah.
some happy hormones.
So guess who gets hooked on that really easily?
Addicts.
Us. Human beings get hooked on things like that, where like the body rewards you with endorphins or feel good hormones
With
and
a lot of foods.
with
It doesn't have to just be
spiciness.
spicy.
Yeah, sometimes just with chocolate happens the same. That's why
Coffee.
people want that.
So we're talking about addictions. That's what we're talking about at this point.
You could get addicted to spiciness.
Oh, my grandma, let me tell you.
Oh my
She got her gallbladder removed because of the spiciness that she has endured in her life. Everything had to be super spicy. And she still cooks like that. And then she complains that her stomach hurts.
Yeah.
But we know exactly why. She don't care.
And the thing about someone who has reached a very high level of spiciness, that whenever you ask them, is this spicy? Don't
No
trust
pica.
those people.
No
Yeah,
pica.
no, it's the no pica people. Esa salsa no pica.
Yeah. And then you taste it and you're like burning your lip.
Yeah, but the thing about spiciness, and I guess with life itself, it's very subjectable
To
to
your
people,
experience.
to your perspective.
Yeah.
Someone who has not experienced those storms will see little jalapenos.
As nothing.
That's not. I'm calling it little jalapenos, and we'll see right now in a bit if the talk is real. You know.
You can talk that talk, but can you walk that walk, Alejandro?
Exactly.
Bam!
Bam. Okay. Yes. Here they are.
This is the only thing we had in the kitchen.
If this are not that spicy, we have that other one, that red one.
Pero está seco. I don't know if that would make the same thing.
It'll be spicy. I'll tell you
Does
that.
it? I've never
Yes.
bitten into a dry chile. So
I think there's a reason why
They dry 'em?
them after they're red, and because that's potent.
Mama.
Uh-huh.
Why
Y
do you
nunca lo ves.
think we do this to ourselves? The same reason why we're talking about it.
Because we're chasing after the experience. Because the
So do you
experience,
just want to
the
do it?
storm.
Let's continue the podcast
Oh my
enchilados.
God, guys. We're going to continue the podcast like that?
A ver. So this is a jalapeno
Yes.
for those of you who don't know.
And if it's really spicy, it's oh well. We got to continue.
I've had jalapenos all my life, so I don't think it's going to be that bad. But it's going to be uncomfortable because we're
No.
not eating anything else.
You've had chiles en vinagre, which are jalapeno, but they're pickled.
No. Oh, dude, I've always had only pickles.
Have you ever bitten
No.
uno de estos?
No, I
Well,
haven't.
think about it like it's gonna feel the same as the spicy noodle challenge.
Is it spicier than a vinagre one?
It could be, and that's the thing. It could be.
Let's get to it though.
Okay, Alondra,
How big of a bite?
no le tengas miedo al chile, aunque lo veas
Verdecito.
verdecito. Okay. So here we go.
Salud.
You ready, Alondra?
Yeah. I was about to say, this is a bell pepper.
I was gonna tell you, Kat. It's gonna taste like a bell pepper, but with a kick on it. You ready for bite 2?
It's not bad. Yeah. Ugh.
Yo todavía no.
I just swallowed a lot.
So I still gotta bite.
Oh my
this
God.
one. No he llegado ni siquiera yo a lo picoso.
No me llegó hasta que I swallowed it. I'm turning a lot. Ay. Alejandro.
Okay. Mine
Alright,
was
let me
not
focus.
spicy at all.
Take a bite out of mine.
3, 2, 1.
I'm going down. I'm going down.
Yeah. It's fair to say that you're reacting properly.
How you feeling?
Oh gosh, it's a different experience.
My knees are numb.
And all I know is that I barely started the trip.
I'm still up here. No. I'm down here now. Yo sé que this is on the low, guys. I cannot imagine eating that. The spicy one, habanero, or like the spicy challenges.
I'm like
where you at?
blocking my pain right now. Let me just express this. Whenever I bit
Wow,
down
I'm
into the
high.
jalapeno, that just like I knew I was gonna go for a ride. And this is that ride.
I
You
feel
know
good.
that wave is going. It's coming. It's building. It's building.
quiere llorar. But my tongue still hurts. My tongue feels physically sizzled. Like if I had just burnt it physically with something hot. That's how my tongue feels.
Yes. They don't say it's hot just randomly. It does feel like you just got your tongue set on fire.
Yeah, it feels like that right now. Like I don't, more than anything, that's the sensation that I'm feeling left right now. My tongue is hurting.
Okay. Let's move on, Alondra.
Yeah.
So let's go into the dicho.
Okay, so besides the literal spicy food, we're also talking about the message of challenges and facing it with courage, because you have to be pretty I have boogers coming down.
I'm feeling good right now, guys. I reached that point where like,
yeah,
all right,
you feel good.
I went through the storm and now it's just
You're
like
whoa.
Oh, I'm coming down.
I'm still there. So facing the challenge ahead with courage. That's what this dicho to me talks about. Like, no le tengo miedo al chile, aunque lo vea colorado. I'm not afraid of that challenge, even though I know it's going to be hard. I'm still going to do it. I know it's still going to be spicy. Todavía me va a picar, but I'm still going to take that bite, or I'm still going to go for that class.
So that message,
I'm still gonna go for that job. I'm still gonna go for that dream.
So as a dicho, you say for yourself.
Yeah, I feel like that's more self. A dicho
So
for yourself, because you said it's something that you say to somebody. I don't think so. I don't agree full on. I feel like it's something that you say to yourself.
Well, when you change the terminology, when you're like, no le tengan miedo al chile aunque lo vean colorado.
Okay,
That's
like
something
you say to somebody.
But it's talking about the same concept, meaning the experience you're gonna go through is gonna be a really difficult experience, but even though it's gonna be hard,
It's gonna be worth it.
it's going towards that message.
Yeah, because like, why else would you enchilarte if it's not gonna be worth it?
Because
For the flavor.
Because it starts
But-
with no tengas miedo.
No le tengo miedo.
¿Tienes miedo?
Estás en infarto. So don't be scared. Are you scared? You're scared. Fear not. When Alejandro, I'm gonna ask you now. I'm putting you in the hot seat. Spicy. Get it? When have you encountered in your life a situation where you could apply this dicho, or where you would apply it?
All right, so this is another life experience that I've had
A ver, cuéntame.
where I had to put myself in a difficult situation.
Cuéntame, señorito.
So there was a period in my life where I moved out from my parents' house and I lived in a studio apartment in Dallas.
I remember.
And of course, because me venías a visitar hasta allá Dallas. While living there was this one employer that I worked for where I used to draw floor plans for them. And then one of the owners also had another business where he would go and help build these convention show rooms. And this particular employer will ask me if I wanted to go and help him go to this other city, to this one convention happening in Atlanta. And he asked me if I could help him out because he had gone over there. Pretty much he needed someone to drive there with the truck full of all the equipment and then help with the English part of the...
To translate everything?
Yeah, because his crew was mainly Hispanic and Latinos, and him
himself.
Himself? Him?
He himself?
Oh, himself.
He himself.
He himself. I was so confused. Like, him himself? No, he himself did not speak English that well. So he needed someone who knew the language.
And he had you at the time.
And someone who knew a little bit about floor plans too.
Okay. So that was you.
So that was me. So he came to me and said, hey, would you be willing to go here and help me out with this? This is the amount you're going to get paid, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Initially, I was like, I've never done this before. What do you mean I'm going to have to figure things out when we get there? I'm going to have to do something I've never done.
Right.
It wasn't my branch of business that I did. That was intimidating.
Like you had never had that encountered before, that somebody asks you to do something so big.
So then the proposal, so the proposal of like, I'm about to do this project and I would like you to help me out with this.
Right.
And this is all the responsibility. So just imagine, I've never done that. You've never done that. And then you're asked to do something. So it kind of invokes that feeling of like,
unknown territory.
Oh my God, I'm just gonna go for it, or I'm gonna jump into something I don't know. So the dicho comes in perfectly in that situation, as in, no le tengas miedo al chile aunque lo veas colorado. In my situation was that don't be afraid of that work project experience that you could have, even if you know that there's so many tasks that you're going to have to figure out and you're gonna be uncomfortable, and plus other things that you are not quantifying or you're not calculating.
You don't know what to expect.
And you are just like, I'm gonna have to solve all that stuff and it's gonna be hard. But don't be afraid of it. I didn't know the dicho back then, but it fits perfectly because that's actually exactly what I said to myself. It's okay. It's the unknown. You're kind of afraid of it, but just say yes. You also need it. You need the money.
Money.
Exactly. And it'll help you with your life as well. And not only that, but it will pay even double because you don't know what else you're going to be learning. You're going into this market that you have never encountered, and it could be something that you use beyond this project. You're going to learn so much. I didn't know that at the moment, but I kind of like hold on to that. Like, this is going to give me a lot in return.
Yeah. And I feel like that trip was so significant to you that we still talk about it to this day. Like, didn't you have like toes that went numb from so much work?
Okay, yes.
Like, you were not prepared for everything that happened in that event.
I had the right equipment. Like, I was never out. I thought, I'm going to take my good looking boots. I didn't have work boots. I didn't have work shoes.
Your work shoes were because you would go clock in and sit on the computer.
No, mine was office shoes.
Yes, well, you had office clothes. So for work, you took your office clothes.
Exactly. I did. I honestly did. When I showed up there and I saw the other guys, like they were like
contractors.
Yeah, like blue collar shirts.
Yeah.
Or like just regular working shirts.
You had your button ups.
And they had their I'm gonna be sweating under shirts. I'm gonna be kneeling down jeans.
Yeah.
And I had like those dress pants, and I show up like that.
And they put you to work.
And then yeah, because I saw the way that he expressed it is that I was gonna be talking to the architect.
You were thinking more convention. Like, it's a convention. Let me dress business professional.
Exactly. I was thinking the convention already. I went there to be the representative of the company. He literally said, anything that I have to approve, you approve. Dang. Like, if they ask me, hey, your boss needs to approve, you have to approve.
You were basically the face of the whole company.
Yeah. I was there talking with the people, the important people.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
A lot of pressure, I bet.
Nobody, not even the boss, prepared me for what
the amount of pressure
and time.
Oh, pressure.
We had only 4 days to install everything because the day that we arrived there, the next day, literally, we had to go and start the building and start talking with the architect and the other people who had the material and start building the showcase, the showroom.
It's not like everything is pre-made. Like, you literally go and build everything?
Well, they have all the material, and they had plans, and they had wood, and they had all the materials. He said, everything we need is here. It's just not assembled.
So you had to be one of those guys, right?
At the beginning, as we were talking, as I was arranging everything with them, I'm translating and then giving, and then it came to the point, it's like, okay, we already talked everything we need to do. I need to tell this to all the crew, and then, I wasn't just going to sit there and stand there and be like, yeah, good job. Yeah, put those pallets down, move things around.
You could have been FaceTiming me instead.
Nah. my boss was like, te traje para trabajar también. And I'm like,
kill me? Not with these nails?
So I was in building, and I was in and out of translating and talking and seeing, planning out with the architect what's the next step, because the architect would come in where whatever I was doing and helping the other members, he would come and get me. It's like, I need to tell you about this next thing. And I was just like, but you just told me like 20 things about this one thing, and you're already gonna drop like 30 more things about this other step that we're not even in that step. But
time was of the essence.
She was just like, yeah, we still need to do this because I'm on a schedule.
Was she the one that asked you to go to her hotel after?
Yeah, she did.
Imagine that.
No manches. I guess she got pretty fond of me or something. Was fond of me.
¿Por qué? ¿Qué estabas haciendo tú?
No, yo no andaba trabajando profesional.
Más te vale, ¿eh?
Sí.
Mira, aquí todos están viendo. Diosito sabe.
No, yo sé, pero todo profesional yo.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So yeah, it was very hectic, and because I did not take the right shoes,
so funny.
At the end of the two weeks, pretty much I was out, because then the
drive back
time, each night my body was just deteriorating more and more. I felt like the night was not enough for me to rest enough, and then wake up the next day more tired and then go again. So that's how at the end of all that stuff, I started like not feeling one of my toes.
That's called nerve damage.
And I was just like, oh my God, that's freaking crazy.
Yeah. I remember it took you months to get that back.
And that lingered. I was already working for another company already, and
still
my toes still numb. I was like,
oh my gosh.
Leave me alone. So that's one of the experiences
No,
from that epic
I
thing.
wanted you to talk about the subway stuff.
Oh my God, the subway stuff.
I'm telling you, this trip for Alejandro was so stressful.
I was so confused, and y si la regué, I'll say that.
Because of all the
Judge
pressure
me.
you had.
Judge me, guys, but I made decisions there. So
Let me
my
just, hold on.
boss.
Can I just say something?
Okay.
Alejandro didn't tell me this story until years later, like literal
Oh, yeah.
years later.
I kept. I thought
He said he was going to take this to the grave. So the fact that he's telling you guys right now
Oh
is
my
good.
goodness.
It's
Okay.
juicy.
Okay.
This
Here's
is about the trip.
Story
Okay.
time. Guys, this is day one. Context is we had the boss, his friend, and me that went from Dallas. In Atlanta, he had hired other people,
Okay.
like a crew. And we had like 10 guys that I was pretty much telling them what to do. And then after I told them what to do, I was there doing it with them.
And let me guess, you were the youngest guy there.
And I was the youngest one. I was
You were like 24 maybe?
yeah, everybody older than me, and I was doing all the decisions pretty much. So then it comes to a point where my boss tells me, hey, go get food. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go get food. What should we get? We come down to Subway. Okay. Then he tells me, don't bring the foot long, bring the half one. And I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yes. And if I'm walking out, he tells me, hey, remember, just the half. I'm like, okay, whatever. So and I still have to figure out where I have to get this. I find the food court. Luckily, there was a freaking Subway there. And I'm like, okay, I'm waiting in line. There's like probably like 20 people in front of me because again, it's a convention center and there's
Everybody's
people from
hungry.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting there. As I'm waiting there, he calls me, hey, where you at? I'm like, bro.
I just got here.
Exactly. I'm in line. There's probably like 10 people in front of me now, right? I'm still waiting and I'm ordering, right? And as I'm ordering, I'm telling the guy, all right, so I'm going to need 15 sandwiches.
Damn.
Maybe that's why he thought get the half one because it's going to be a lot. So I'm ordering and I'm telling the guy, and as I'm telling the guy, I'm telling him 15, and he's like, 15? Yes, 15. Make them the 6-inch. In between that, it went past his head. He had to like stop the line.
You're trying to order everything.
And then after that, they're like, okay, we're going to make them. Please wait over there because we're going to take the other order because there's still
people. Yeah.
20 people behind you now. And as I'm
So you're like,
waiting
all right.
there, yeah, I'm kind of like relaxed. I get the phone call from my boss again. He's like, hey, yeah? I'm like, no, they're making 15 sandwiches. I'm still waiting, and they're still doing my order, and they're still making the other orders. And I'm like, pero ya mero.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he was hungry. I don't know.
He was hangry.
I know. And then I kind of like glance at the receipt thingy, and I'm just like,
$200.
yeah, como que estaba muy caro. So I go to the counter, and I get the bag, and I'm like, whoa, these are heavy.
Oh, what?
And then he's like, yeah, they're 15, 12 foot longs. And I'm like, 12 foot longs. My face goes like red, and I'm just like, my boss specifically said,
just get the half.
just get the halves. And I was like pressured, and then I had like this pressure come to my mind. I said,
Like, what do I do?
and what do I do?
Do I eat them all?
Yeah, because in a way, I guess I was kind of afraid of like the repercussion of the boss saying, like, yo, I told you the half ones. Why you got me spending all this money? Like, oh, I was making up all those stories or like stories in my head, and I got so anxious, and I got so like, I've never been in this position ever, and I hate it here. I hate it here. And I'm just like I was, just imagine me. Yeah, just imagine me, a whole bunch of people around me, and my world just going like, and I'm just like,
You were that Mr. Krabs meme?
Y tengo, like, yeah, honestly. And I have the bags of the sandwiches, and I'm just like, I need a solution. Sorry, I need a solution.
Y luego?
Okay.
So what was your wise idea?
When I asked that question, my brain was like, it's simple. He doesn't need to know you bought the 12 long, the foot long ones. So what you're going to do, and there's like some inner voice that was like trying to help me when I was like so like,
desperate.
Like, oh.
Why'd you cross your eyes?
Bien perdido, bien like, no sé qué hacer. Me está llamando este vato, mi jefe, y ya nos quiere ya, y yo aquí con esta situación.
So you paid for them?
Ya estaba pagado y todo.
Oh my gosh.
Ese detalle no lo calculé. No estaba pensando bien. And honestamente, I wasn't thinking right. I was just full of fear, stress, and
pressure.
Sorry for myself, and like trying to solve it quickly.
Right.
I was just trying to give him what he asked for.
Uh-huh.
What I do quickly is I take half of the 15 sandwiches. I open all of them. I remove the half of them. I wrap them back again. So then here I have 15 that I'm gonna present to him, and then 15 that I gotta do something with them. So one of the thoughts was like, we'll eat them, and I'm like, okay, that's a great idea. I start eating one, and I'm like going fast.
How are you gonna?
But at the time I was going on the other one, the second one, I'm like, that's the dumbest idea I've ever thought of.
Really?
Because I still gotta show up over there, get my sandwich, and be like, I gotta eat my half. No tengo hambre, imagínate. Right? So, but I wasn't thinking right.
What'd you do though?
I only ate 2, and then I had 13 sandwiches in a bag. I took a bag, like a backpack. So I put those 13 sandwiches in my backpack.
Closed it up and called it a day.
And I had those here, right? I had a backpack of shame in me, right? And I had the bag of 15 half sandwiches. Uh-huh. Yeah. So I'm running. I'm running because I was like, I already took 15 minutes extra just to do that separating thingy. And I was going as fast as I could. If somebody would have seen me do that shit, they were like, what the fuck is that guy doing? I just looked weird, you know?
Yeah.
But for me, I was a guy with a mission. All right. So I get him. I get there. And I was like, before he saw me with the bags or whatever, I was like, okay, prep up, get your story right, act like nothing happened. And just like, and then immediately, he sees me. He's like, ¿por qué te tardas mucho? I'm like, pues es la línea, yo te dije. There's a lot of people. And I was just trying to get, but here it is. Yeah. The sandwiches, the half ones. And he's like, and he still was like, eso es todo. Me gusta cuando siguen mis instrucciones. I'm just like, okay, you're like, fine. Yeah. I solved the situation. We're good, right? Wrong. In the aspect that whenever I got there and I was like, okay, to the 10 workers, and I'm just handing the sandwich to them. And as I'm handing it to them, like I also see their faces. Mm-hmm. I said like,
it's so small.
Es todo. Y unos nada más como que agarraban y le hacen. One even mentioned to me, was like, oh, estamos a dieta, ¿verdad? I was like, eso es lo que me dijo el patrón que trajera. Sorry, si no.
No, even I eat a foot long. Like, save one for later, but like when I order, I eat a foot long.
Yeah. So then I was like in a tough pickle. And like at that moment, I just realized
people wanted a foot long.
Yeah,
most people do.
That would have been the smart thing to do.
Now what?
Well, the situation was obvious. It was kind of tense. As in, like the workers weren't that happy with just half of it, and then the boss was even kind of referenced like, "Hemos comprado los foot longs."
Oh,
¿verdad?
So the vibe was that.
Yeah, the vibe was like, yeah, creo que sí se quedaron con hambre y no era mucho. Yo pensé que, in my mind, also I thought that it was smart to do that because I was going to go again. No, that's all he got them for the whole day. Like, we only ate one. Well, they only ate once. I ate like 3 or whatever.
You ate all of them. So you had them in your backpack, and what did you do when that moment arised?
I kept looking at the backpack. I was like, lo veía y la canción de I'm like, look away. And then the bag was just there. And I was just like, still with the stress. But I was like,
you're like, do I tell him?
Oh my God. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to ignore this. I'm going to ignore that I did that. That's just what it is. That was a reality. But me knowing that it was my fault. One, yo la regué. Lola, volví a regar. En que I didn't come up with the boss and said, you know what? Compré el foot long. I don't know. I just had a hunch or whatever.
Could have just said that, right?
Yeah.
So la regaste 2 veces.
La regué como 3 y muchas veces todavía. Pero de los sándwiches era eso. Entonces estaba like
I
weighing on me.
And it tasted like bell pepper.
Oh gosh.
¿Otro? Not spicy. No, I'm good.
¿No?
No. Crazy.
Es porque ahí viene lo chingón.
Okay, so we're at the point where you ignored the signs again and you kept it to yourself.
I kept it to myself.
For how much longer? What did you do with
the whole day?
The whole day? You had sandwiches rotting in your backpack the whole day?
I had sandwiches in my backpack. I was hoping someone was going to get the bag and be like, smells like sandwiches here.
The anxiety you must have had.
I had a lot of anxiety.
That whole day.
I was moving that bag here and there and wherever.
Oh my God.
And then I wasn't done because I had the bag full of
sandwiches.
And my boss was going to see me at one point and be like, hey, ¿qué traes ahí? So I was even plotting. It's like, when do I go dumping down to the trash?
You threw them away?
I had to. So what I did is whenever we clocked out and we went home, and then when we were walking to the house, I was like, oh, se me olvidó algo en la troca. Me das la llave. Sí, make sure to lock
planned?
It or whatever.
Se me olvidó algo.
Eso ya estaba planned.
Oh, okay.
And they were walking, and then I saw them go in. Like, they didn't think anything of it.
Alejandro being so sneaky, trying to save his butt.
So yeah, and near there was a trash can, and then that's whenever I was like, okay, I'm here. I hate this moment too.
Shame. It's perfectly good.
Perfectly good.
Sandwiches.
They could have eaten those.
They could eat them right now.
Las personas lo podían haber comido. It would have just been
it
extra
would've been-
nutrients for them on that heavy day of work. But instead, yo por mi
I mean,
stupidez,
I get it.
no pude, I didn't handle that situation well.
You didn't handle the pressure well, digamos.
I did not. I really did not in that moment for that thing.
Yeah.
And that was probably like, that was the only test I had in that whole thing. Because then after that, everything was like,
You
evened out.
had it all handled.
Everything was perfect after that. Except the next day, sí hubo como like 3 people that said, I don't want to come back and work.
Oh,
Because no les dio de bien de comer ese
Are you
día.
serious?
So there's 3 people that left that said, ¿y por qué no? Oh, ¿dónde están? Oh, no quisieron venir. And like, ¿por qué? Oh, es que se ofendieron que nada más les diste un sándwich ayer. And so my boss looked at me and he's like, hubieras traído todo. And I'm just like, oh, yes.
No.
It was a smart thing.
Y ahorita that he's listening to you.
Oh, he's probably going to be like, este cabrón. Si yo me di cuenta, si yo vi, aquí compró bien caro.
Yo vi el recibo. En el bank account se dio cuenta.
Pero por bien poquito. For him and for me también. At the time, the next day, he was like, you know what? Just order a lot. If we were going to order 5 pizzas, order 10, 15 pizzas. Whatever.
All right. I want to be with him.
And I was just like, okay.
I want pizza.
And then the next day, it's like, trae chipotle. Trae 2 burritos para todos.
Aww.
And so he spent after that.
So he obviously felt bad as well.
Oh, no, yeah. He saw that, like, why am I being so cheap? Pero a mí no se me ocurrió decirle, why are you being so cheap?
Y no se te ocurrió decir, why are you being so scared? I get it.
No,
though.
yeah.
Honestly,
no, that's why
same.
I hold on to that story even for Alondra. It took me like a year to contarle esto a Alondra.
Yeah.
And I was holding on to the story and I would have nightmares, I think. Nah. No nightmares. Pero those times where like if I had some spare time in my day
You think
and
about
I
it
wasn't thinking of anything, that shit would come up. I'd be like, oh no, damn it, I was so stupid. Why didn't I just say it? Why didn't I just own up to my mistake and say like, hey, yo,
because at the end of the day, it would have saved the day.
At the end of the day, it would have been perfect. He would have been like, no, see,
it's like you were digging yourself deeper and deeper.
I digged myself so deep in a hole.
In the fact that you lost workers.
I know.
It wasn't your fault, Alejandro.
That's 100% my fault.
No.
Because the test was for me.
Okay, fine. It
I
was
take
your
accountability.
fault.
No, yeah, I take accountability. But because of that where like, no le tengas miedo al chile, aunque lo veas colorado.
That whole
le
trip.
tuve miedo al chile. The response was that it wouldn't have been that bad if you would own up. Because ahí pude haber usado ese mismo dicho. I was afraid of the boss. Like, grilling me, saying like, te dije que trajeras nada más estos. Porque trajiste gastar más. And I guess I was afraid of that, I guess. I was so close-minded because I was full of stress and I had direct tasks and I f***ed up. But the screw-up was not that bad. I don't know why I dig myself in a big hole situation. It got like
worse than what it should have been, digamos.
I made it huge problem when it wasn't.
But I feel like anybody within that situation would have done something similar.
I don't know. I think people could be like, you stupid.
Well, people who had more experience in situations like that.
Yeah.
People who didn't have that pressure of the boss, the big bad boss, whatever.
Probably. Or maybe there's people that are like, no, yeah, I get you when your boss tells you something. There's like this kind of like,
I get you. The way that you described him, I would have done the same thing. I would not have eaten them, though. I would have just thrown them away right there.
No, the eating...
Or given them to people. I think that would have been better.
Eating them was a half-baked solution in my mind.
That's so dumb. Why would you ever go to that?
I don't know.
Solution.
The simple thing...
I didn't know that part.
No sé.
Pobrecito.
But it was a solution.
No, it wasn't.
I would deem this experience a success until I calculate that event.
And the fact that...
But I think that event was the biggest teacher.
And the fact that the architect wanted you to take you home.
I guess. But I said no.
And the fact that your coworkers wanted to go to the strip club later.
No.
And they wanted you to drive.
It was a similar situation actually, because they were drunk and they're like, hey, llévanos aquí, llévanos allá. And I was like, ¿en serio? in those 3 days where the convention was happening,
They were trying to go.
We went places. There was this like concert thing that they went to.
You were so out of your element, weren't you?
I was so out of my element, and then estaban bailando unos cumbiones así bien.
And you're just like, okay, can I get litty or is that unprofessional?
Yeah, no, I don't know. And
right.
then, obviously, the only type of clothes I had, guys.
Alejandro over there, business casual, just like sitting there like
business
drinking
casual.
water.
Yeah, business casual.
Man, I would have been bothered.
That
though.
was the whole experience, que no le tenía que tener miedo. No le tuve miedo, y sí hubo unos momentos donde sí tuve miedo. Because I did have miedo, it later showed me that there's no reason why you should have either way. Because yes, it was hectic, but at the end it worked out, and I came back
with
home
money.
With money, and more than anything, life experiences.
Yeah.
Because I went through that.
That was crazy.
Because I went
For you.
through that enchilada.
Te enchilaste la cola. Big time.
Shit, hasta salpicó. Stop doing that. Okay, Alondrita. That was my big experience. And I hope y'all guys like the stories that I share with y'all. And if you are still here, please drop down in the comment section your thoughts about the story I gave y'all and anything you have to add for No Le Tengas Miedo Al Chile, Aunque Lo Veas Colorado.
Also, like, share, and subscribe to us. That way we can continue to post these awesome podcast videos with you guys. Well, thank you so much for sharing your epic, stressful story. I remember
Do I have many of those stories?
You have a lot of stories. That's why you got a fat tongue.
Y luego estaba enchilado.
Estás enchilado.
Dale otro.
No,
Dale otra
no
mordida.
quiero.
Dale.
No quiere. In your personal story, the chili symbolized the uncomfortableness of the unknown, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
so for anybody listening, that in that dicho, that's what it means. No le tengo miedo a la situación, aunque se vea difícil. I'm not scared of the situation, no matter how difficult it looks. I believe that this dicho is a courageous one. Like, it has a courageous mindset.
It's required.
Resilience.
You need to have courage.
Determination. Discipline. Bravery, right? And those are all good qualities to have. If not, Alejandro would have not had that shmoney to buy my nails. Just kidding. I don't have any. I don't wear nails. Anyways, so for me, how could I relate that dicho in my life? And I had already thought of one ever since you mentioned that you lived in Dallas. Do you know where I'm heading with this one?
Oh, just going to Dallas.
Drive to. Okay, so you guys, for me, this dicho plays out perfectly in my life when I would drive to go see Alejandro in Dallas. I live way up north, almost towards Oklahoma, and a homeboy over here decided to move way farther. I don't know who he think he was. He thought he was single or something. I don't know. But he decided to go to live downtown Dallas. Was it downtown? Almost. It's Dallas, like in Dallas. So you know how some people say, oh, they live in Dallas, but they live in like freaking Little Elm. So no,
yeah.
You lived in Dallas.
No, yeah, I could see the skyline like right there.
Yeah. Homeboy decided to move. All right. So I was like, okay, like have fun. I didn't think anything of it until it came down to having to go see your freaking face. And I still remember you were trying to convince me like, hey, you can come see me. And I was like, how? I'm not going to drive on the freeway. Never, ever in my life did I drive to Dallas. Like, okay, like this is crazy. And the fact that you told me to go, I was like, all right.
Like you've known Dallas, right?
I've known
you've gone
so many times.
You've never driven.
Never.
And then you have memories of like,
it's crazy.
Oh shit.
It's crazy to drive
Dallas.
in.
It's like
people are crazy. Okay. So I was like, all right, you know what? If I'm going to go, I'm going to make it easy on me. I'm going to go early in the morning on a weekend because I had school and work, so I couldn't go before the traffic starts. That way it's just a little more empty, a little less pressure. Man, I really didn't want to do it though. But you kept texting me like, and I remember you would say, I know you can do it. I know you can do it. I was like, okay, fine. So me animé.
No le tengas miedo al chile, aunque lo veas colorado.
Exactly.
Alondra. That's pretty much what my texts were. You can do it. I trust.
Him sitting his pretty little butt in his house waiting for me.
Studio
in
apartment.
His studio floor because he had no furniture ever. Pero estaba en su studio.
I was living my own in Dallas.
So for me, I was really scared, to be honest. In my little Honda CRV 1998, just like no AC, no radio. The door didn't open from the inside. Do you remember how to like pull it down from the outside? Yeah. So it was a death trap on its own. So I was over here driving that. When you pass like 50 miles an hour, it would go like that. Yeah, it's like, all right, let's get on the freeway. I decided to go, and I remember having the GPS. I had no aux cord, nothing. So my GPS was just from the little audio that it could, as loud as I could have it. So it was giving me the directions. I knew how to get there because I've gone there with you when you moved in.
Right, yeah.
But I didn't know how to get there driving on my own. So I got out like 10 exits too early. Like, I'm for real. I think I went to Irving instead of Dallas. I don't even know. The point is that I got lost and I was like, oh my God. I was like freaking out. And like, obviously you have to keep going. You have to figure it out, you know? So I had never gone through Dallas or Irving or anything at all, not even for work.
Mm-hmm.
So I was over here freaking out and I had to go like get back on the freeway. And then I got lost again. I got lost twice trying to get there the first time. The point is that I made it there, and I don't know how I made it there, by the grace of God only, because I was so scared. I had never done it before, but obviously I had to drive myself back. So I made sure once I drive back, it has to be late at night because there's no cars, or at least there's not a lot of cars anymore. So I would always leave really late.
So you felt comfortable driving
There's not a lot of cars.
There's not a lot of cars.
Yeah.
So you planned either very early
or very late.
Or very late.
Yeah. So that ended up biting me in the butt because it was hard driving at night. No radio, no AC, just you and your thoughts, just like trying to make it home. I hated it, but I wanted to go see my novio pedorro. No, but like he would go see me most of the time.
Yeah.
But because of that, because I ended up driving to Dallas, I ended up being able to go do pickup orders by myself. I would go all the way to Irving, Grapevine. I ended up getting a job over there. I didn't even question it. I was like, this is where I'm picking it up. Okay. Or like I had a client randomly tell me if I could meet him up in this random neighborhood in Irving. And I was like, oh, I'm around there. So I'm around there because I'm working, picking up orders. So it's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I found the place. It was not anywhere close, but I got there. I made it happen, you know? And so now I don't drive it. Damn. No.
I know, porque aquí está
my husband.
Su rasposo, su esposo. What would you
my
call it?
esponja. Because I ended up driving to Dallas, like literally into Dallas because you live there, I was able to do all of these things and not even second guess it. And then there was a point that I was so keyword was so confident in just my driving that I wouldn't even question having to speed up to pass somebody in Dallas. Because you know, if you drive in Dallas, you know that nobody cares about your life or their own life. Okay, it's a dog eat dog world, whatever that dicho is. And there was a point que yo tuve que rebasar una policía because he wasn't letting me into like the lanes, and I was like, bro, I'm gonna have to speed up in front of you just to pass you.
They're like, quítate la.
Yeah. So like I was just like, you know, no care in the world. I was just so confident. Like I didn't question it. This is pre-COVID. That's why I keep saying used to be, because now after COVID, obviously I didn't drive anymore. Alejandro, we got married and I'm passenger princess now.
Yeah, she doesn't touch volante anymore.
Anytime we go out, we're with me. So
yeah,
unless I really have to, I will. That's for me, that dicho. I mean, I know it's not like as deep and meaningful like Alejandro's life-altering.
No, that's still,
dicho
girl,
experience.
Don't sell yourself short. That's a big milestone.
It was for me.
There's individuals who you are telling that story and they're like, oh my God, no, I would never. Props for her because she went all the way to Dallas.
Yeah, but I don't do it anymore. Go move in Dallas and I'll go visit you.
No. Es eso. That's the thing that this dicho.
That's where it matters, right?
Touches on.
That's literally where it matters.
Yes, it's scary for you. It was scary at the beginning. It was very scary. Just the idea of like, I don't know how to get there. Yeah.
I don't know how to drive there.
I don't know what exit. I don't know what crazy people are going to be in the
There was
lanes.
a lot of crazy people. Especially at night when I would drive by myself.
You experience a lot of little like...
Oh, I almost got hit so many times. I dodged so many like bad drivers, digamos.
Yeah.
Luckily, they never hit me. But yes, I had so many experiences like that. In fact, I remember... this is one of the first times I ever learned to drive on the freeway. I was barely going into college. That it was back before they had fixed the 35. So most of the entrances were short. So like it like spits
Oh,
you
you had
into
like
the
a second to merge.
yeah. So the merging lane was like really short, and then it goes back into the service road, right? So that was back in the day. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get on the freeway. So I get on the freeway. I'm like, all right, let me start speeding up, and my carrito doesn't accelerate fast. So I'm trying to speed up, and then I see there's an 18-wheeler on my lane. So he's behind me. I'm like, all right, let me try to beat him.
Oh gosh.
I'm like trying to speed up, and he's obviously going freeway speed. So I didn't match his speed, so that I'm like speeding into the merge lane, and I had to speed out because I didn't get in. I was like, damn.
Failed attempt.
A failed attempt. And that was like me desanimó for a long time trying to get on the freeway. But obviously like that was before you had moved to Dallas. Yeah, and I was like, dang it, is this always gonna happen? Obviously I didn't know how to merge into a freeway. Into it. Like I'm
It's like somewhere in the cheek.
sorry. Ay, pobrecito.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, those are my
That was a beautiful story.
Thank you, Alejandro.
Beautiful story of you viendo el Chile, and even though you saw Colorado, even though you saw the challenge ahead of you, that's gonna be very
scary.
You still did it.
And I overcame it, and then it didn't feel like anything after a few tries, you know?
Perfect. That's what this DICHO's about. Get past that. Don't be afraid of it, because at the other side,
It's worth it.
100% worth it.
Have you redeemed yourself?
Yeah, many times. Yeah.
You haven't bought me 15 Subways.
No, not like that. But like whenever I feel in the gut, and
You don't feel that. It's not
thing
that
that's
same
like,
feeling when you remember?
of being afraid. No, it's like, hey, say something. Say it. Speak it, because maybe you're right. It's the moment where we are going to go deeper onto the dicho that we haven't acknowledged.
No le tengo miedo al chile, aunque lo vea colorado. That's like a statement that superheroes would say. That's like his catchphrase. That's like Captain America.
This is a dicho that is superhero.
It gives superhero
vibes.
catchphrase. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They saved the day.
Firefighters
Yeah.
have to live under this dicho.
Police officers. People who put themselves in danger on the daily.
Yeah. El Chile could be a situation, a person, in my case with the sandwiches,
Could be the freeway.
a item,
Choki.
Ah, su madre.
No,
Something
I am
scary?
scared of a choki.
Chucky. We just triggered like a whole bunch of people. Especially if we
I'm
put
not
like
anymore. No.
una cara de Chucky.
Nah, I'm not anymore. I haven't watched it in years.
Oh gosh, girl, that mother he was the nightmares.
Yeah,
he was the one.
tormented my imagination as a kid.
He was trauma for little Alejandrito.
Same.
Specifically, whenever the Bride of Chucky came out,
Really?
and then the
I
poster,
watched that one.
the poster movies of his face all sewn in. That's the one I was scared of.
We should watch it.
Ay, watch out.
I'm just saying, because like I haven't seen it as an adult, fully rational adult.
But we need to watch the whole trilogy and then the extensions.
No sé.
Well, yeah, because it's like, ¿a qué le tienes miedo? A ver,
Es que me da asco just thinking about it.
¿qué?
Me da asco.
¿Chucky?
As an adult, not scared, because that's little me, you know? That's little Alondra, scared.
But
As an
now
adult,
it's-
I'm just like, I don't want to see that. He's ugly. I'm sure the 90s. I'm sure that doll looks ugly even now, even more so now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to see
those
that.
first ones, when
like-
he was mad, like he was like,
Like, it looks so animatronic, like, like
yeah.
it's happy and it's like, I had a Barbie doll like that.
Scary. I'm kidding.
It had buttons in the back, and it could go like that, and it could go like that.
Yeah, it's
I
weird.
was like, yeah, that's weird.
¿A qué le tienes miedo, Alondra?
El dinero. You attract what you fear. That's a lame joke. It's a meme. I'm sorry. It wasn't my own.
Ajá.
No, and let's see. What am I
Growing
scared
up,
of?
¿qué fue algo que le tuviste miedo?
Growing up?
Ajá.
Are we really going to go there? I'm scared of everything.
You were scared of
I was
everything?
scared of all the unknown. I was scared of adult men. I was scared of cars driving by. I was scared of being alone in my room, or being alone, period, in my room, whether that's in that room, in the toilet, in the shower, asleep, in a car, in a bathroom.
You said being alone?
Like literally alone. Like
Okay.
nobody being in a
Just
room.
you.
Yeah. I was scared of that.
You're traumatized.
I had a lot of fears. I just felt unsafe. For what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Those are my childhood fears.
Any real ones?
Define
No,
real.
they're all real. Yeah,
No. Like, what do you mean? Like
¿Tienes una historia en donde tuviste
I encountered
mucho
it?
miedo? Así que, ay, no. Cuando se cayó el borracho enfrente de ti. O sea,
Oh, that was
¿eso fue
scary.
miedo?
I was scared. No, I don't really remember that. But, I mean, I know this sounds dumb, but... Catecismo?
¿Catecismo? You're afraid of...
Going to class, I was scared. I remember I hated it so much because I didn't know anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I was already old. I was 6th grade.
But to go alone to a class that...
It was so debilitating. Like, it was terrible. I don't know why.
Your textbooks?
That's the same situation of going to La Primera Comunión, the classes.
You had to go pick up your textbooks.
Yeah.
And you couldn't physically go alone. You had to call your
dad.
My
my grown ass self cried because I couldn't get myself to go alone. Oh. I don't do that anymore. Actually, because I have you. I have issues, guys.
Remember how I said that if you wanted to go anywhere, you asked me, like, hey, vamos aquí. I'm like, go.
But here's the thing, Alejandro.
Uh-huh.
That happened only as a child. I hit puberty and I was in my teen years and I had no fears of I wasn't scared of death itself. Like, I had no care in the world, nothing to hold me here on earth. I didn't care. I would even say, like, if I die right now, I would be fine.
Yeah.
It turned from one extreme to the other.
Kind of does happen. But then you're back a little bit to like, oh, okay,
because
I am a little bit of...
Yeah.
I think that's all the hormones of puberty that hits you. And it's like...
Miss those.
I know. Damn, when you're like
I was
fearless.
like a reckless, like the thought of like a reckless teenager.
Yeah.
Like they don't care. They don't have any preocupaciones del mundo.
Don't we all miss those moments?
Yeah.
So there was this one time when I was a child talking about fears. I had this little toy, and this toy was called Turbo Man.
Mm-hmm.
And that toy was like my favorite toy at the time. I was a child.
You were like attached to it?
Uh-huh. And it was the one that I would play a lot with. If I was showering, I had it with me.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about this toy is that it had a little button that you can press it and it would be like Turbo Man. Mm-hmm. And it'll do all this voice, right? So it went through a lot of wear and tear. And there was this one night that I had my toy and I was playing with it normally. Just imagine a little kid playing happy.
Uh-huh.
And in a way, I knocked it too hard or whatever, and it just started going, I am Turbo Man. I am Turbo Man.
Oh, it was like glitching.
I am Turbo Man. And I'm like, I went from You don't understand the wave of fear that came over me because that little Turbo Man just did that to me in my face. Like literally, I turned it around and he was like, Turbo Man.
You didn't know what was going on.
Turbo Man.
Hell no, you thought I was possessed.
And I was just like, I thought the worst.
Es el diablo.
Uh-huh. I'd freaking go like, and then my mom was like, vamos a apagarlo. Hay que quitarle las baterías.
Yeah.
And when my mom opened the baterías and she took them out, in my head, I remember the scene.
The choky.
And even more scared I got. I'm like, no, ma, ¿qué tal si todavía le hace Turbo Man? And my mom's like, ay, cállate, ma viejo. I even scared my mom.
Why would you say that? Your mom not even trying to comfort you? You scared your mom.
And then after that, because I was so scared. After that, like I wouldn't leave my mom's sight esa noche. And I just had como que like fear just took over me that day. And then my mom was trying to do stuff, but I was there with my mom. Alejandro, ya, eso es ridículo. And I'm like, no, ma, tengo miedo.
Aww,
¿De qué? No sé.
Oh.
Turbo Man, Chucky, no sé, se me va a aparecer algo. Pero es un fear,
it's like,
irrational fear.
As a little kid, you don't even know how to word it.
I know.
Like, I'm sure you didn't even say that. You just said, no sé.
Y mi mamá me decía, vete por tu cuarto.
Hell
no, porque I gotta pass by the bathroom door.
What's wrong with the bathroom door?
It was dark. Tenía la luz apagada.
Exactly. As a kid, you can't rationalize or put that into words. You're just scared.
I know.
That's why for me, why was I scared of everything? I don't know. That's something for my therapist. I really don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah. Some people are just wired differently and we process information differently. But all I know is that was one of the biggest fears I had. Of algo que le tenía miedo. Y este dicho.
Now, what is something
touches that?
What is something that you're scared of now? Like
something
in this life. In this life. Como que si ya es otra vida. In this reality.
Ahorita.
now in
reciente.
this age.
¿A qué le tengo miedo? Oh my God. Okay, so there is a fear of like not reaching the goals, the vision that I have for my life,
That's a
and
fear.
simply just like not reaching them, and then like being 80 years old and just being like, really? I couldn't have worked a little bit harder. I
Damn.
couldn't have woken up
A little earlier.
a little earlier. Why am I not there? And so it's like, it's a fear. It's like, I don't want that. So
Wow.
I
That's
want
kind of intense.
to take action. So a lot of the things, the daily I'm up is because I don't want to show up either old or in my death bed.
Dead Beth.
My dead bed. Stop it.
Who's that? Pobrecita. What
I
happened to
know.
Beth? Why is she dead?
My
Deathbed.
bed. And having to see all this regret of like, I didn't take enough action.
That's really
Like,
deep, Alejandro.
So the fear is real.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I will actively pursue
Your
and
dreams.
do everything I can at this moment. So I don't have those regrets. So that fear, I think it's like it's kind of like a healthy one.
You don't want to
Right.
regret not trying enough, not doing your best, not reaching your potential.
Right. And you can only do anything about it right now. But when you think about the future, it's like, you don't know.
You don't know what the future holds.
You don't know if you're going to be, I know, like, you don't know if your future is going to be what you imagined that you don't want. And like,
Well, I mean,
that's what's scary.
if you think about life that way, you will never know really what life is going to hand you.
Right. I might not
So-
reach 80.
Exactly. You might not even reach
100, but then
You might not even reach 50. Like,
right. So why
You don't-
worry? Don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing's gonna be alright.
okay, I guess you can have those feelings, but don't let it paralyze you. Take action and just know that because you're taking action, that fear won't be true. Hopefully. Who am I to say?
All right, Alo, for you.
My fear right now, man, I don't know. Like, I still have a lot of fears. Phone calls. I answer phone calls now.
Okay.
And I make them recently. So that's not really a fear. I guess now, dang, I don't like to admit it though. You. No, just kidding. I don't even think, like, I don't like to admit it because I have never cared before, and I don't even want to say it's fear, but it's kind of like I want to avoid it as long as I can.
Wellness?
Death.
Ooh.
Death.
That's a real one.
It wasn't real for me though. It wasn't.
Oh, because if you die, you leave me all alone.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Crap.
I like when I was a teenager, I had never felt attached, not even to like my family.
Uh-huh.
Like if I die, it's fine. You know, I always like, yeah, they'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But now if I think about, like, I picture like living our lives and suddenly whatever, like I die or something, and what's going to happen to Alejandro? Like, he's obviously going to be going through stuff. And I'm just like, that's so
Right.
sad. I don't want him to go through that. And more than anything, that's what I'm scared of. It's not me, myself. I'm not scared for myself, you know?
Mhm.
Does that make
Kind of,
sense?
maybe.
That's why I said, let's die together.
But no.
No, but that's the thing that I don't like to admit. Obviously, it's going to happen to everybody.
Right.
And I'm
No nos
not...
escapamos.
I'm not the one to avoid that conversation. Like,
Yeah.
I've had that in my life already that I had to, you know, confront. Not me, myself, but I've had the experience where death was knocking at the door.
Like right now. Sorry, not right now.
What?
No. What I was going to say is that there's going to be a day where this episode will exist, but we won't no longer be alive.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to think about.
We're ghosts.
But,
Woo!
but ahorita, we'll be in that other part.
And a different journey.
Uh-huh. I think we just reached that point where we've given some value on this dicho.
We just want to say thank you all for watching, for tuning in. If you've listened to this point, thank you so much. That means a lot.
No le tengo miedo al chile, aunque lo vea colorado. Adiós y hasta la próxima.
Bye. Love you.